Hey guys, KingBowser6 here, back with another video. In this one, I'm creating a drawing that fits a random drawing prompt with a random OC characteristic generator that I made using the English version of Shinden Maker. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to try it out for yourself. In this video, I will be discussing my overall journey to make this piece and the anime that I've been watching lately. As I said in the intro, I made my own random OC characteristics generator. It has 10 different categories, as that's the maximum amount that you can put for a diagnosis on Shinden Maker. Those categories are gender, age, hair color 1, hair color 2, height, weight, scar number, style, and miscellaneous. Most of the categories are self-explanatory, so I'll go over the ones that might be a little confusing at first glance. Scar number is simply the number of scars your OC will have. It goes from 0 to 5. Style refers to the type of clothing one wears. Within life, you can tell a lot about a person just from the types of clothes they wear. Someone who wears activewear is probably someone who exercises regularly. Someone who wears formal wear probably works in some kind of big company or corporation. Someone whose clothes are messy may either be homeless or someone who does not care about their appearance. There are lots of small things you can see about a person, or things that you may assume just from their external appearance. Lastly, there is miscellaneous. I won't go over all the options, but essentially it's just random stuff about the character that doesn't fit into any one category. One prime example is missing hands, arms, legs, etc. I added that as not everyone in this world is born with full limbs or a perfectly normal body in general. I wanted to encompass that within this generator so that myself, along with anyone else, can get used to that reality. Let's get into this specific OC that I'm creating, in which I typed the name Shozaki Keiko. I found a page on Tumblr in which someone explains the proper way to create an original Japanese name. I followed their advice and came up with this name. I will be doing this for any other future character prompts, but I did not do that for the female character prompt that should be coming in 2 weeks. Also look forward to the female character prompt, as I made sure to get a female one as well. So for any future character prompt videos, just know one will be male and one will be female. As I'm making this video, I have not started the female character prompt as I'm working on some artwork, but know that it's coming right after. Once I got the information for Shozaki Keiko, I got to work the day after. Prior to doing so, I searched for some reference images to use, as I've never drawn a chubby or elderly individual. So I went into Google and searched for some images to use. So since I recently finished Haikyuu, I got images of old coach Yukai. I referenced Netero after he triggers a rose bomb, and Hiruzen in terms of anime characters. I also straight up searched for elderly and chubby people. You guys are probably able to figure some of this out within the speed paint. You can clearly see the references that I use. Personally, I think for a first time drawing this kind of body in someone this old, I did pretty well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and leave any suggestions as well. When I made my initial doodle/sketch, I only focused on a few key aspects, as I forgot about the rest. I focused on the man being elderly, chubby, and an artist. When I sketched it, I completely forgot about the scars and the earrings, hence why in the line art phase I had to improvise and add those things in. It wasn't a big deal, and it didn't change the vibe of my concept at all, really. I was considering not adding a background to the image at all, but then I thought I could do something quick that would add to the image overall and emphasize the style aspect. When I thought of the style of an artist, I immediately had the idea of Shozaki wearing a baggy shirt or some jeans, and the shirt having paint blotches on them. I decided I would add them into the background to help communicate the idea clearly, and maybe you guys can get into a good job delivering that message, but hey, everyone has their own unique interpretation of what things are. I have an image in my head for what an artist looks like, and for me that image can depend on one's age, gender, and if there are circumstances within their lives. I challenge any of you to draw this specific prompt, and be sure to either tag me on Twitter or share it in my Discord server. Once I got to the line art, I did the same method that I used for the Naruto Tournament of Power Transition Speed Paint, and later on I applied the same blur and overlay to the final image. I think it makes the piece really stand out and gives it a pop. I might make a tutorial on how to do the Dragon Ball Super Roly line art style in the same way I do using Ibis Paint. Let me know if that's something that would interest you guys. As of making this video, there has been quite the update in the anime that I've been watching, so I'll briefly go over them individually and give my thoughts. Firstly, we'll start with Haikyuu. I said in the last video that I gave it a try despite not being familiar with volleyball, and I was instantly hooked. When it comes down to watching anime, I tend to watch the first episode, and if it doesn't interest me, I would go on to drop the series. There have been some exceptions to that rule, however. The 90s version of Hunter x Hunter is a prime example. After watching the first episode, I was extremely bored, but then someone in a Discord server suggested that I give it a second chance. So I did, and now I've seen the series twice and I've taken notes on it. Speaking of, the 2011 version of Hunter x Hunter has much better pacing. One of the main differences is the condition in which Gon meets Kite. But I digress. Let's talk specifically about Haikyuu. I haven't seen many sports anime, and I even dropped some lately, and I can say, the story-wise, Haikyuu is good. Like A Hero no Sora, I do feel that the games can drag out, but not nearly as much. The first episode was really catching in terms of the story. Despite not seeing much of Hinata's past in terms of trying to get a middle school volleyball team going, we get enough to see Hinata's pain, and later on in the series we get to see more of his past. As I said regarding Kuroko's basketball, as a competitor, the pain of losing is absolutely unbearable. I was hooked when I saw that Kageyama and Kitagawa first were able to easily beat Hinata and his ragtag team. This was the first and only game that Yukigaoka, Hinata's middle school, were able to play. Unfortunately, Hinata was the only one who really played volleyball, and Kageyama is a prodigy, so Yukigaoka had absolutely no chance at winning. That desperation to win and the depressed look on Hinata's face as they lost instantly hooked me. Despite not understanding the complexities of volleyball, I was able to understand what was going on. This drove Hinata to make Kageyama his rival, and now he's motivated to beat him in high school. Except for the fact that he and Kageyama go to the same school, Miyagi Prefectural Karasuno High School. That instantly changes the vibe for the rest of the series. Instead of Hinata and Kageyama going against each other, they reluctantly have to learn to work as a duo. It's a good thing that Daiki Sawamura, the captain of Karasuno, was able to see that Hinata's quick reflexes and high vertical combines very well with Kageyama's setting ability. It's great to see how the two learn to work as a unit, and they learn how to interact with each other better as the series goes on. The others on the Karasuno team are able to develop as well, making the series even better as we get to see a multitude of characters and teams change during and after their games. Second on the list of recent anime that I've seen is The World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. First of all, that's an extremely long anime title. Secondly, these are elements to the series that remind me a lot of Mushoku Tensei. In fact, I was using my anime list and looked through recommendations coming from Mushoku Tensei to find this series. I would say this recommendation makes perfect sense. Both series have magic, involve a child prodigy at magic, both protagonists die in their world and are reincarnated, and both protagonists are prodigies themselves. There are plenty of differences though that make the two series entirely different from one another, however, but I may save that topic for another video. Lug Tuatha is quite an interesting character. In his previous life, he was essentially born to be an assassin and he was used as a tool to carry out assassinations. As he died, he felt regrets about not having any emotions and not living freely, so along with the crest by the goddess, he has chosen to live according to his own will. The way he chose his skills was quite masterful as well. He didn't just try to pick the 5 most powerful skills, but skills that would complement each other and help to overcome the fact that the hero has 30 skills, with 5 of them being S rank and the other 25 being A rank. It's quite interesting to see how Lug conducts his life using other people as his tools and try to take advantage of any situation. But at the same time, he does sometimes act on his emotions and he lives as a free human being. It's not easy to describe, but it's quite intriguing to watch. I honestly am getting more and more into the whole RPG aspect within anime in which one acquires skills, trains, and levels up. There is no actual leveling system, but the concept is still the same. It's not as organic as, for example, Naruto training to master Wind Style, Rasen Shuriken, but it's still really fun to watch nonetheless. Overall, the series has a different vibe to it that I can't quite explain, and it's a little more lighthearted in comparison to Mushoku Tensei. I'm hoping that the second season comes soon. Lastly, there's Tokyo Revengers. This recommendation came from ReZero starting life in another world. Subaru Natsuki and Takemichi Hanagaki both have time-related powers. Their powers are quite different though. With Subaru's abilities, it's almost like a video game in which you die and go back to a checkpoint. Once Subaru gets to a certain point, he gets back to a previous death point. With Takemichi's ability, he can only go back in time by 12 years in relation to whenever he travels. Also, as a result of his interaction with Naoto during his first time travel, he is required to shake Naoto's hand before he uses his ability. Also, the amount of time Takemichi spends in the past will pass in the present time as well. For example, if Takemichi traveled to the past on July 3rd and then went back on July 10th, it will be July 10th in the present time. I, however, will save my commentary for Tokyo Revengers for a future video, as I've only seen the first 21 episodes. This series is really amazing and I've been hooked. In fact, this video could have potentially been delayed because of how into Tokyo Revengers I am. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Twitter and Discord, both are in the description. If you want to know what I'm currently doing or thinking about, those two places are the best places to go. I will see you guys next time.